Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 376th running of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. It's round number 2 of the 2026 season, and we have an action-packed evening of racing for you. Tonight, in the booth this evening is myself, Kieran, Redman, and my esteemed colleague, Xibin.
Hello, and good evening, everyone. Hope you're good tonight.
We hope you are good as well, Xibin. A reminder that to everyone, this is new territory for the RTFR series in 2026, with us running until the 8th of December, a total of 25 events every other Tuesday, and not to forget that special bonus round taking place, that 400th running on the 22nd of December. All details can be found on the RTFR forum on liveforspeed.com. Tonight, the series is being supported once again by the fantastic World Class Lions organisation, who have pledged €800 in prize money this season across all RTF events for the 2026 season, with 250 of those finest euros up for grabs in this very championship. Tonight, we are heading to downtown, to the streets of South City. We will be using the City Long layout for the evening. At just over 4 kilometers long, tonight's arena presents a very different challenge to that of the Kyoto Ring 2 weeks ago. Xibin, thoughts on the track?
It's a really fast track. It's really technical. She said it's really different from the Kyoto North reverse track, and we will see really close door-to-door racing. And the difference with the Kyoto layout is that they will have to be really careful.
They really will indeed. There's no margin for error on this street track. Tonight, the vehicle that our drivers will be attempting to coax round those famed city streets is the Swirl Sport 06 Cup. It's front-engined, front-wheel drive, 2-litre inline 4 engine, 227 brake horsepower, and weighing just 959 kilos. A little pocket rocket for our drivers to get to grips with. There's fun fact, this is the second time this car has been used in the RTFR series, with previous field featuring 43 drivers, and the theme will be continuing this evening with a very well-attended grid. But let's take a look at those quali results. On pole, it's the in-form man, Oh, this is the championship, apologies, not qualifying, not just yet. Our championship standings as it sits right now is Laguga, who won the last event. They're taking, I was going commanding victory, but our top 4, as you can see there, were covered by less than 0.25 seconds as they crossed the line. Laguga from Unite, from Gabba, from Twincam, from Michael, your top 5. Let's see if those contenders have qualified anywhere near the top. And they have indeed. It is some similar names at the top of the qualifying standings, with Laguga, the in-form man here, has won the 2 previous events and is looking for his hat trick of victories. 3 on the bounce for Laguga, if it is possible this evening, with a time of 1 minute, 40 seconds, 0.997. He is the man to beat, and chasing him is Gabba, Twincam and Unite, and B2, your top 5. Looking at the back at Mad Jester in P6 and Yanni Katia in P7 as well, with a time of 1 minute, 41.993. Other famous names from the Live for Speed community are featured in that top 20 there. Anyone standing out for you, Xibin, there?
I think it's really interesting to see Matt Jester on top 6. I don't usually see him in top 6 standings, as well as Twincam on P3, but obviously we know that Twincam is a fast driver, and we also see new faces.
We have indeed as well, and looking there, we have 28 drivers on the grid this evening, so a very well attended grid with quite a big spread covering 1 to P28, but again, we will be having racing throughout the grid. Looking at this and looking at this combination, I think the RTFR organisers have done a great job, and this is answering a question for me personally, Xibin, that I never knew I had. What if Clio Cup raced around Macau? That is a mouth-watering prospect, Xibin.
Absolutely. Also, we have to remind you guys that it is the second pole position of Lagugas this year and the 24th pole position in RTFR history.
They are some big numbers. He's 2 for 2 so far. Can he get that hat trick and convert his second pole to a second win of the season? The lights go red and they are out, and it's green and go here at South City. Everyone gets away nice, well and cleanly. It's Laguga from Gabba, from Twin Cam, from Unite. They all scream into this fast first corner, brave as you like, taking as much speed as you can through there. You can see drivers pushing it wide. It's an absolute scramble and a dive up the inside from Gabba there, and Laguga runs incredibly wide and he's lost that pole position. He's falling down the order. 2 places lost, 3 places lost. Laguga is falling away from this as the pack scrambles to find position and jockey for the best possible place on this opening lap. Laguga has lost it, but his loss is Gabba's gain. He leads a frantic pack. It's Gabba, Laguga, Twin Cam, Unite, and then behind all of those is a mad scramble for any other places that remain. We wait with bated breath now here to see who will lead coming out through the first couple of turns now. Gabba has a commanding lead now over the chasing pack, but Laguga and Twin Cam are continuing to scramble as 136 is looking for a dive up the inside into this incredibly tight chicane, looking around the outside, and he's been pushed wide. And again, we're seeing cars all jockeying for position here with a mad dive at the rear of the pack. Look at this stuff, absolutely fabulous. As I said, Clio Cup at Macau, it's giving those kinds of vibes, and we absolutely love it here. Fast, momentum-based racing. It's great stuff, Xibin. Frantic start.
Absolutely, we're looking at a very good race start and no incidents so far. So now we're looking at Matt Jester doing that. Well, he was chasing down the Catilla brothers, if I'm right. Johnny and 136, I'm getting told, and now we're looking at Trespasser as well, closing in.
Yeah, we've got Yanni Katia and 136 jockeying for the position there now, both in similar liveries, obviously looking at, well, not quite teammates, but opting for the same style of livery. Big sweeping dive round the outside, just keeping it out of the wall there. Brilliant stuff. Yanni is hot on the brakes, takes the inside line, clips the curb, runs it wide, and he has that position locked down, but 136 is diving back around the outside again. This is why these cars are fantastic. You can take whatever line you like, and it all works just the same. There, 136 putting the pressure on, looking for an opportunity on Yanni there. A little bit of contact there, and that's bringing Trespasser into the play. It's very much bringing him into play with a fabulous move up the inside. He slots himself in this Sabelt Suzuki Swift sandwich here. Fancies being the filling between the two of them. Brilliant stuff from Trespasser, very opportunistic, lovely stuff. But here we have Unite looking to try and impose himself on those podium positions. It's Gabba from Laguga, from Twin Cam, from Unite, from Yanni Katia in P5, and Trespasser is in P6 as well, with that fabulous move to insert himself into the top 6 of the race. And there we have Xibin, a great livery there. Mad Jester in a Domino's livery. He's trying to get that pizza delivered on time, that's for sure.
Absolutely. I have a small anecdote with this livery. Is that in 2023, I made that one for a driver for a league called CISAF on Live for Speed.
Oh, nice. So you're going to be a fan of the Domino's livery then?
Absolutely. It's a lot of giggles, a lot of that's, well, complying with the philosophy of the team, as well as we're looking at the very nice move on, well, on, I think that was 136, and we're looking now fight back on 136 with Matt Jester.
Yeah, there's a slice of action happening here, speaking of pizza, and it is all to play for. 136 versus Mad Jester, and they are side by side for that fast-flowing corner. Can they keep it out of the wall? They do, and 136 has locked that position down and stays ahead of Mad Jester, but that battle will rage on. Yanni Katia is starting to pull away from this pack as he attempts to claw back the top 4 runners. He finds himself in P5 as we look on from the rear of Yanni Katia. You can just see there's no margin for error here, Xibin. You have to keep it out of the wall, but with risk comes great reward. If you can get it right, you'll maximize your entry and exit speed, and you'll be able to build those gaps, and the bravest drivers are the ones that will keep growing that gap. But speaking of gaps coming down, at the front, Gabba has a lead of just over half a second from Laguga. That gap is coming down, and we can see it visibly there now. Laguga lost out on the start. He was your pole man, but he is reeling in Gabba now with less than half a second between the two of them. Teammates, very respectful, two very good operators in the RTFR series and in wider series as well, expecting some big things to happen here, but I'm hearing that 136 is looking for a move on Trespasser. Can he insert himself into the top 6? They now run side by side over the crest of that overpass as they dive down towards this heavy braking zone. Will they give each other room? They do. 136 pushing Trespasser out wide, and 136 has that position all sewn up, but now look for the overpass and the overspeed on the start finish straight as we have action here between Rony and Hachiroku there as well. There's fighting happening all over the grid, Xibin.
Absolutely, we'll have to look a really good move on 136 into Trespasser, and now it's Hachiroku on Rony, as well as we're looking now at the both P2, well, top 2 teammates battling each other. Now we're looking at Matt Jester trying to go round out the outside on Trespasser, and he seems to pass him.
Yeah, it seems to be in a move around the outside there. Really good stuff, but just touches the wall there, which is going to compromise his exit, allowing Mad 136 to have a look for him there. I don't think anything is doing for 136 as Mad Jester secures that position and looks to try and hunt down Trespasser as they try to trouble the top 5 positions. Something of a two-part race forming here, similar to 2 weekends ago. Our top 5 are starting to pull away and insert themselves as the dominant drivers of the championship.
That was a tight break, and now we're seeing that Matt Jester being chased once again from 136. Now going to the highway section, it's Matt Jester, well, it's Trespasser from Matt Jester and 136, as I think Kieran is trying to fix his microphone. But now we're looking at the slipstream, and Matt Jester trying to go down the outside, and we will see who gets the best exit speed, as now we're seeing a really correction. He's through, and we will see if Trespasser keeps it as a drag race. And now we're looking side by side, not really close, and it seems that Matt Jester goes back to the slipstream of correction, Trespasser, and we will see if there will be more action between them. And now we're looking at the rear bumper of Matt Jester. We're literally on 136.
Yeah, 136 politely showing Mad Jester the outside Armco wall there. That got incredibly tight through there as he jockeyed for a position around the outside. These 3 drivers are fighting and scrapping for position, but it's costing them valuable time, not just to the top 5 ahead of them, but to those chasing pack behind them. And that move is not going to help either. Look on board now as Trespasser makes the error. That is going to invite Mad Jester and Michael and Thamuli into the playing field here. These top 5 now, you can throw a blanket over them. They're all scrapping for position. Again, it's all momentum based. This is a brilliant move from Michael. Is anything going to do here? His nose is up the inside. It's an aggressive dive. They bang side door by door. Through they go now. 3 of them all jockeying for position. There's an almighty scrap going on here for the last of the top 10 sort of positions here. As I said, P7 all the way down to P10. You can throw a blanket over them, and 4 very distinctive cars, white, blue, red and yellow, all jockeying. Who will be ahead? We'll have to wait and see as we have a move down the inside now, side by side. Who dares break latest, but who dares run it wide? They're both being incredibly respectful, but we are seeing very damaged wings now as they're all leaning on each other. It's a great aspect of these cars, Xibin.
Absolutely, it's really critical, the exit, and also the fact that Matt Jester clipped the wall right there, and the chance that 136 and the other ones took, like Thamuli, Michael Malek, and now we're seeing a 3-car race. I think it's led by Matt Jester. Now he hits the wall. I think there is damage.
Oh, more contact as well there. More contact. So it's a big moment for Trespasser. Mad Jester into the wall. Huge damage, and he's off there. We'll have to get a report back for you in terms of damage to that vehicle. He has lost lots of positions and lots of time, and very lucky for TJ there that he wasn't collected as well. But battles are raging through the field with Rony there as well. I think it's Rayman and Johnny Katia as well there. Big slide and off in the braking zone for Rayman, who just about keeps it out of the wall. And that is Yari Katia's gain as he elects another position and heads into the top 20 in his quest to hunt down Magic and T-Bug, who are the 2 cars ahead of them. But at the front of this chasing pack, it is as you were. Gabba and Laguga head the field by 1 second between the 2 of them, with only half a second covering the 2 of them. Laguga now sits in the draft as we ride on board with him. He shows his nose and it's up the inside, but Gabba will not take this lying down. He will not give it up lightly as he elects to hold it round the outside. Laguga parking it on the apex and gets the position done. A very clean and slick move from Laguga. He was your pole man, lost it on the start, but Gabba is fighting him back with the draft over the start-finish straight. You can throw a blanket over them. They're 2 same liveries, 2 highly skilled operators in the same vehicle. The best of the best duking it out as they head into the first turn. Who will be bravest? It looks like it's Laguga, but Gabba has a great run on him. Laguga goes defensive into the heavy braking zone. Gabba elects to cut back and switch back there. Laguga running slightly wide, but this is inviting Twin Cam into all of this. As these 2 continue to scrap, Twin Cam is lurking in the background, looking to take positions further up the podium roster. This is frantic stuff and great racing from the top 2, Xibin.
Absolutely, and now it's really interesting how Laguga took the same line that he took on the first lap to when he lost the position to Gabor, and now it's a really good difference from the last corner. And now we will see if Gabor tries to take first position on the critical section here on the hairpin.
Yeah, we'll have to see here if Laguga can go defensive. He definitely does, but we are getting up close and personal with the front of Gabba's vehicle there as he continues to harry and harass Laguga, looking to try and force the error, but he might have to force that door open himself. We'll have to wait and see, but while all that is happening, Twin Cam is sat there lurking and keeping pace with our 2 front runners. Again, are we going to see action aplenty down into this? This is where we saw the move the lap before. It's a big dive up the inside, all the front wheels locked up. He somehow gets it stopped. Gabba keeps it out of the wall, barely. And it's a miracle he didn't collect Laguga through there. That was a high pressure moment. The heart rate was through the roof there, Xibin.
What a switchback from Laguga. That was a really risky move from Gabor, and honestly, we saw a little bit of smoke on Gabor's tires, so it's really aggressive, really desperate move, I think. But yeah, well, it's really interesting how they try to push themselves.
Aggressive is right. It was full Flintstones on the brakes, both feet through the floor of the car there, trying to get it stopped, but Gabba did just about keep the position. Nothing lost, but nothing gained. But it does show the intent of the driver. He is looking to make a move. Look how close Gabba is getting to the walls as he tries to maximize his entries and exits. But again, he has to be wary of Twin Cam. He got away with one there, a near miss for Gabba. Can he afford too many of those, or Twin Cam will be there to capitalize? At the front, Laguga continues to lead from Gabba, from Twin Cam, Unite in P4, Yannick in P5, and 136 in P6, Thamuli in P7, and TJ in P8. Michael is running in P9, and Mad Jester makes up your top 10. Don't look away anywhere. Xibin, it's hard to call this one. Who's your money on for the top 3?
Oh, again. I would say on Gabor once again from the last round.
Oh, I like it. Okay, you're keeping the money in the right spot. I like it. You made a good prediction last time, and Gabba is looking to cash in on that prediction. He elects to go around the outside, looking for the cut and switch back there. But Laguga controlling it nicely on the apex, allowing to keep the flow of the car and keep the pace up. And there, they're both jockeying for position there. We ride on board with Twin Cam. You can get an idea of just how fast these 3 cars are, given the fact they are lightweight little track day cars more than anything, and they're brilliant to watch. It promotes great close racing like this. Look at how close these 2 are through this section. Laguga's rear end steps out, just about catches it. Well held there from Laguga. That's the save of the race so far, as both of them continue to jockey for position, but it has cost him time. And Gabba, the man with Xibin's money in his pocket, is trying to look for position, trying to make the game, but Twin Cam is lurking there. They cannot get any closer, Xibin.
No, they can't, but maybe we will see something on this case, but it's too risky. And yeah, I mean, I think, well, now looking at Twin trying, well, there was a slight touch on the Gabor's rear bumper right here. But yeah, it's a really interesting race, and obviously, I will stay loyal with Gabor. Maybe I should go on Twin but yeah, honestly, let's go for Gabor on everything.
You won't be blamed for not putting your money anywhere. I certainly wouldn't want to. Any one of these three could take something there, as we're hearing in our ear that Hachiroku and Mad Jester and Onifus are all battling it out here for the position. Hachiroku just got 2-for-1 special there from him there. Brilliant move from Hachiroku. Bless him, Mad Jester is falling down the order. He's having a bit of a torrid time at the moment. I can only assume he's carrying some severe damage on that car. Obviously had all 4 wheels locked up as well. Will certainly have scrubbed through some of his tyres as well. And he's got a slipping clutch and damage as well. So he is struggling in that car. He is just trying to think of the bigger picture. As we said, points equal prizes, and the prizes that come in the form of a cash prize at the end of the season. So Manchester is thinking about picking up as many as he can here. It's not worth DNFing and bowing out when 1 or 2 points could make the difference. But speaking of making the difference, it is close between our top 3, and our leader hits the wall. Laguga's in the wall. He's somehow again kept it pointing in the right direction, but has he picked up damage on the right rear there? The wheel was in the wall. Easy for me to say there, as Gabba and Twincam are looking to take advantage. I'm hearing in my ear that the car is looking A-okay, and Laguga continues his push to make it 3 for 3 in the last 3 events. But Gabba and Twincam are harassing. You can just see that in the twisty section through here, Twincam just seems to be a little bit of more of an advantage, but he loses it through this section here. This is where Gabba and Laguga seem to pull away from the two of them. And again, Gabba is showing his nose, filling the rear view mirrors of Laguga, letting him know he's there as they dive down. Will there be a move? There is certainly going to be a move. Great stuff. Up the inside goes Gabba. They touch doors. They bang doors, putting the left quarter panel through the passenger side door. They're side by side for this section. Twincam's licking his lips, thinking there's an opportunity here. And there certainly is an opportunity here. He's up the inside, and he is side by side with Gabba, who will come out on top between the two of them. And he's slowly just back up a little bit there, and we've got a bit of contact going through there. 3 of them all jockeying for position. Who will come out on top? You're not going to make it 3 wide into here. Who dares break first? A lock of the wheels from Gabba. Laguga runs wide, and Twincam is looking to insert himself as best he can. Xibin, I could barely breathe. It's all kicking off here between our top 3.
It is really awesome. That was a really nice move from Gabor, and we saw a possible. Okay, now they are bump drafting, but they were possibly really close to do a 3 wide right down the downhill. Really,
nice catch.
Flat out.
What a catch, and all 3 of them are stepping out sideways into that turn there, and there's a touch of the wall for Twincam. Amazing stuff, but that bump draft didn't seem to actually be having the desired effect there. It seemed to slow them down, to be honest, and we're hearing that further down the grid that Hachiroku has a run on the man ahead, Hosip there, but nothing doing for them as the battles for the lower points prizes are continuing to rage on. But at the front, we have another battle raging on, much like we did last round, Xibin. Laguga, Gabba, Twincam, and let's look at who's lurking in the background. It's Unite and Yannick in P5, looking to insert themselves into this leaders battle. Will we see another aggressive dive? No, not this time. Laguga goes extremely defensive, which will invite the cutback from Gabba, who thinks better of it this time, elects to hold station and hold position. This is all about risk management here at the early stages of this championship. Picking up points for P1, P2, P3 is huge for a championship challenge, but are you willing to risk it for a couple more points? We'll have to wait and see as Twincam looks to show his nose to the pair of yes drivers there. Gabba and Laguga are being put under pressure. They're forming a rolling roadblock, doing their best to hold Twincam as best they can. Look at them side by side, and up the inside goes Gabba, who elects to take the lead. They're both sharing it backwards and forwards. It's Laguga, Gabba, but neither of them is willing to let Twincam come through. Team honors before anyone else, but Twincam is lurking and looking to make himself known. But behind them, Unite and Yannick are chasing them down. Your top 5 are in stupendous form, and it's a brilliant step out there, and again a great catch from Twincam. He's pushing for everything he can to maintain his 3rd position and accelerate himself up the grid. This is getting very tasty, Xibin.
I strongly believe that Twincam's rear tires must be really hot. Like right now, we've seen him sliding on the first corner, going flat out, and doing the best of his skill to try and keep it up with Gabor and Laguga. But I think it's going to take some consequences on Twincam.
Completely agree. Potentially he's burning through those tyres, and tyres are certainly a talking point through here. A lot of options for the drivers in terms of what to elect, a lot of them splitting the tyre strategy. Here, all 5 of our drivers that are jockeying for position. And is it a case, Xibin, that the top 3 have burned through those tyres, and that is now inviting Unite and Yannick Attia, who have looked after those tyres a little bit better in the early stages of the race? And are we now seeing a switch in the final 7 laps of the race?
As we're looking on the leaderboard or the tires compound, as we're looking at Themuli, not the only one, but he's on the P6 position, top 10, representing the choice of R4. So it's like hard tires on other racing competitions.
Yeah, exactly. You can see the tyre strategy at play there. Clearly the R3 is the performance tyre. Obviously Themuli heading up the R4 tyre strategy there, running in P6. Themuli is certainly the MVD, as I'm calling it, the most valuable driver with the most consistent point scoring over the last 15 rounds. But here we have a battle going on between Josep and Honifus here, between the two of them. This is P10 and P11 respectively. Both of these gentlemen are teammates, part of the same stable here. And again, no love lost between them. You can see that Josep has picked up a bit of damage to that right quarter panel as both of them get slightly sideways, but both just about keep it out of the wall, pushing for those fine margins. They elect to try and hold on to their positions as it is all starting to build again. Xibin at the front of this grid. The top 5 all jockeying for position. Twincam starting to struggle now, holding off Yannick Attia and Unite. Yannick Attia has elected himself up to P4, Xibin.
This is going really mental for Twincam right now, because he has to be really, he has to take a lot of attention in front of him to see any chances, on his own car to see his temperatures, and on his rear mirror when Jarek Attila and Unite are literally looking for any mistake of Twincam.
Yeah, it was a big aggressive lunge there from Gabor in P2, but the inside became the outside, and Yoni is inserting himself here as he goes up the inside. Can he make it 3 for 1? He dives up the inside. Will he get Twincam? I think he might, but it's going to be 2 by 2, Noah's Ark style, over the start-finish straight. It's Laguga and Gabor, Yannick Attia and Twincam all jockeying for P1 to P4. They're all being fairly respectful, giving each other moderate amounts of racing room, but it was great watching Yoni there take an opportunity, throw it up the inside. He saw just a gap right there, and there's going to be some contact through there. They're side by side. We've got rubbing through there. That's not the place to do it. We've got big contact. Will they hold it? Will they keep it out of the wall? There's a big contact, 3 of wide all through this turn here. Twincam has got the position as Gabor falls away. Laguga is scampering off, thinking, I've got another win in the sight. Can I make it the hat trick? There's a big dive up the inside from Gabor, trying to keep Yannick Attia behind him now. Twincam elevates himself to P2, Xibin.
Absolutely, that is really impressive. I did not expect Gabor making a mistake right there, but obviously no one's perfect, and now we're looking at Gabor looking at the rear bumper of Twincam, and I think that Laguga will be really comfortable right now with his position and the people that are behind him, as long as they are not named Gabor.
Very true, Xibin, but he's got a minute to breathe. 0.8 seconds, the gap. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's about as big as it has been for the last 14 laps. Only 5 laps remaining. I can't believe how quickly it's gone, but it speaks to how good the racing has been, as Unite is now in the draft, as he looks to elevate himself back ahead of Yannick Attia, who had that heroic move up the inside just 1 lap ago, but he's holding the inside line. He will push Unite to the outside, carries the momentum forward. The switchback from Unite there, but both will be equally matched as they head onto the start-finish straight. Yoni had to lift just a little bit there, but Unite will elect to hold station. Potentially might elect to have the bump draft there with Yoni to elevate him forward. But again, the tyre mark is a big question here. Who has the tyres in the closing stages of the race? We'll have to wait and see. And speaking of gaps at the front, 0.8 becomes 0.2 as Twin Cam on the inside. It's a big send up the inside from Gab on Twin Cam. They're side by side. He politely shows him the wall, but they just about keep it out of the wall, Xibin.
Absolutely, we saw that there was traffic ahead of Laguga. That might be the reason of the 0.28 on Twin Cam, absolutely. So now it's a really nice move of Gabor on the inside on Twin Cam, and maybe he knows that he will be slowing down. But anyways, it's a really interesting race, and now we're seeing Derek Attila chasing down on Twin Cam, which we will see how that will end up.
Yeah, we're looking back from Gabba now, looking at Twin Cam and Yoni Katia jockeying for P3 on the podium as everyone heavy under the brakes. And it's a big catch up there by Twin Cam in the braking zone, really confident under brakes there as Gabba just barely keeping out of the wall as all of them are switching through. It is anyone's race. That gap at the front is up to just under 0.9 of a second. In the draft is Twin Cam. He pulls to the outside line. This hasn't worked previously, but will he be able to make something different this time? We'll have to wait and see. Electing maybe for the switch and cutback, or potentially to set him up into that fast sweeping left-hander of turn number 1. Electing to keep the momentum going there. Twin Cam has the run now as they head onto the start-finish straight. I believe he's going to bump draft him there. Yeah, he's just dropped out a little bit there, not able to carry that momentum forward. But speaking of momentum, Unite is pushing Yoni Katia, who is now elevating himself right up to the back of Twin Cam. Is Yoni Katia able to make a move? He shows his nose up the inside. He's the quicker driver. His tail steps out, well caught by the young Yoni Katia there, and under brakes, just touching the rear there, but nothing doing for young Yoni Katia as he looks to try and get himself his first podium of the 2026 RTFR series. We'll have to wait and see if he can elevate himself up any higher. But at the front, it is Laguga by half a second over Gabba, Twin Cam, Yoni Katia. Unite are your top 5, and it is anyone's race. Laguga can breathe a small sigh of relief, Xibin. He has a very small gap, but all it takes is one mistake, and that gap will close completely.
Absolutely. Honestly, we're looking at small corrections on the elevation changes, as for example on the turn 1 we saw Derek Attila saving really well the car right there. And yeah, I mean, not all city has the best bumps, but as long as they keep it in the track and within the walls, I think they are doing a really nice job. And yeah, I mean, it's really nice to see the skill in this track.
I wonder if they've simulated the potholes that no doubt plague all major British cities. But anyway, at the front, the top 5 continue to run, and it is anyone's race. If you're just joining us, it is lap 16 of 19 of the RTFR series here. 2026, this is round number 2, and Laguga is looking for a hat trick of victories. 3 victories from 3 events. It's something he's chasing. He's never achieved this before as he takes the flag now. Lap number 17 of 19, getting very sideways and a lot of smoke through there. Unite also just about catching himself there. Brilliantly catched, well held from them as Yoni runs wide, just gets his braking zone wrong, and that's going to cost him dearly. That position has gone. Yoni was at one moment looking like he was on to take a fantastic dive up to P1, but it's slowly fallen away from him. Can he make moves and get himself back up to the top 5? We'll have to wait and see. But Laguga continues to lead this frantic pack of talented drivers here by just over half a second, and further back from there from Gabba is your P2 man, is 0.4 seconds to Twin Cam in P3. Things are just starting to calm down ever so slightly here with the top 5, but we wait with bated breath as there could be a move coming here. And speaking of that move, Yoni is looking for the opportunity. There's a bit of contact there between our front runners in that heavy downhill braking zone there, Xibin.
Yeah, so I think Twin Cam brake a little bit late for that higher pin, and Gabor lost. Well, Twin Cam found himself into Gabor's rear bumper. As we're looking now at Derek Attila chasing down Unite, but I don't think it's going to make any move. And anyways, I think did I see them side by side?
Yeah, the scrap continues at the front. Somehow, some way, Gabba has been able to insert himself back to the front of the grid. The move is on for P1 here between Laguga and Gabba. It is 2 to go here at the city streets here. They are pushing each other along, trying to separate themselves from the chasing pack that's headed up by Twincam in P3. And he's in the wall. He's in the wall. Laguga gets it wide, touches up, and he just about catches and saves it in the braking zone. But this is going to give Gabba the run. Is this his opportunity? This is the best moment he's got to try and take the lead from Laguga. Can he deny him that third victory, that hat trick? We'll have to wait and see. Laguga is under mountains of pressure. He wants this victory desperately. It will be a great start to his campaign to make it 2 for 2. It's a big dive up there from Gabba, who got up close and personal with our rear camera there. I thought he was going to come through my computer screen for a moment there, Xibin.
Yeah, so now Laguga can choose on defending really hard, that like we're looking right now, or push as hard as possible. But in 2 laps, or correction, yeah, 2 laps remaining, it's not really easy to push that much. And when you have Gabor behind you, you know that he might go faster than you if he's under your slipstream.
But if Gabba is the cheap suit, Twincam is the tie, and all 3 of them are all over Laguga here now. Laguga needs a moment to breathe. It is getting incredibly close between our podium positions there. Twincam's got a brilliant run as Laguga elects to go defensive, and around the outside goes Gabba. Twincam up the inside as well. It is side by side between Gabba and Twincam. Will either one of them be able to elevate themselves up into the second place position? Laguga, is he deliberately backing them up? Is he doing a Carlos Sainz from the Singapore Grand Prix? Is he trying to slow down Gabba? And here they go side by side. If he is doing that, it certainly hasn't worked. They cannot go 2 by 2 through here. Surely not. They're rubbing wheels, just about getting it through. Big sideways moment for Laguga and Twincam. Laguga sweeps across the front of the pack, heavy in the braking zone. Can he hold it? There, a touch. They touch between the two of them. Laguga and Gabba are colliding with each other, and Twincam is waiting for the opportunity to capitalize here. But speaking of opportunistic capitalization, Unite is sitting there waiting to take advantage and elevate himself to a podium position. We'll have to wait and see. Ooh. 2 wheels from Unite, just catching it. That was heart in mouth stuff, Xibin. This is huge.
The cars are really easy to flip, as we saw Twincam. It's a really close call. One mistake, one bad curve, and you could end up to your roof, and it's really, really bad. As we're looking right now in front, Lagugas and Gabor trying to see the area, trying to look up for the gaps. As we're looking as well at the Unite and Twincam.
It's anyone's race here on the final lap as we're heading to the final sector of this race. What a brilliant race this has been this evening. I'm sorry we haven't seen the action further down the grid because it's been so frantic at the front. And it is anyone here fighting. It's Laguga and Gabba. They've sort of separated themselves from the chasing packers. Twincam is doing his best to hang on to this. Unite dives up the inside. There's big contact in the braking zone, but they just about hang on to it as we watch Laguga comes to cross the line. Is Gabba going to be able to get the run? It's another photo finish from the RTFR series. It's fabulous stuff. Will Laguga take it? They're running. There's the run, and here they come side by side over the start finish. But it's Laguga who takes the victory from Gabba by 0.03 seconds. Xibin, that beats the close finish of our last round. I can't quite believe it. 1.6 seconds the gap to Twincam, your 3rd place finisher. It's Unite finishing in P4. Yoni Katia, Thamuli in P6, TJ P7. A ways behind comes Michael in P8. Onifus takes P9, and your remaining runners are just crossing the line now with Vosups is in P10 and Rony in P11 as we have a fight going over the start-finish straight between Hossup there, who just takes it from T-Bug there. Oh, no, apologies. T-Bug from Hossup, I should say. My apologies there. Your top 13 finishers. It's a great stuff. And look at the gap there. Laguga was able to take the best lap so far. 1 minute, 41.48 seconds as we have Magic crossing the line now to finish P14 in the running order. And Rayman crosses in P15, and the Elder Katia Yari crosses the line to finish P16. He'll certainly be proud of Yoni there with his P5 finish as well. 16 cars finished and crossed the line over the roll, and Mad Gesture is coming across the line. What could have been for Mad Gesture such a great start, battling with the top 5, but just got himself caught up in that earlier incident, and he finds himself way down the order. As I'm just hearing, our runners are just coming down final corner. It is Kaneko there running to the flag, and he will take points and finish the RTFR round 2 of the 2026 championship, and this will conclude what has been a fabulous evening of racing. Xibin, wow, and wow.
It was an endless roller coaster of emotions, a lot of happiness, a lot of sadness. Honestly, we've got a lot of intense racing with Gabor and Laguga, and obviously it's really sad to see Matt Jester crashing out and going to the pits. And well, at least he's one of the finisher, which is really important, and maybe he will be the following races. He will be capable, eligible. I can't say it.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I think Manchester is certainly going to be a contender in future races. But your results for the evening, ladies and gentlemen, it is Laguga who takes a hat trick of victories. He's 3 for 3 in the previous events, and he obviously is your overall championship leader with 2 victories, 2 poles, and 2 wins from the first 2 rounds of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race 2026. From Gabba, 0.03 seconds the gap between the two of them. That was incredibly close between them. You couldn't separate them for the whole race. It was brilliant to see, but Gabba couldn't quite close the deal. Twin Cam is your P3 victor there, just hanging on ahead of Unite. Yoni Katia in P5, Thamuli P6, TJ finishing P7, Michael finishing P8, Onifus finishing P9, Vakupas finishing in P10. Further down the grid, we have Rony finishing P11, T-Bug finishing P12, Hossip P13, just for missing out to T-Bug there as well. Magic P14, Rayman P15, Yanni Katia finishing in P16. He'll certainly be happy with the result for Yoni Katia there in P5. Mad Jester finding himself slightly unlucky there, finishing P17. What could have been for him, but he'll bounce back at the next round. Kinako finishing in P18, the last of the front runners there, finishing P18 overall. And your remaining drivers there, Artist finishing in P19, 4 laps off the lead lap. Hachiroku got himself up into some kind of trouble there, 5 laps from the end, P20. 136 finishing in P21. He was a contender in the mid-pack, unsure what happened to him there. Moti Makari, same for him as well, P22. He'll be very disappointed with that. Hermani, P23. Roxan's P24. Trespasser, P25. A real interesting note to note what happened to Trespasser there. Jazuni, P26, and Malin in P27. And of course, on the screen there, your fastest lap also went to race winner Laguga as well. Xibin, this has been a really, really exciting evening of racing. I really enjoyed it. I know you did, and I'm sure the fine folks at home certainly did as well. But it is all eyes now to the next event, which will be taking place on the 3rd of February at the same time. You can catch it here at Sim Broadcasts there. All information regarding the event will be released in due time on the RTFR forum on Live for Speed. Well, Xibin, final thoughts?
Really technical circuit. At the end of the day, it's a lot of things going on, a lot of intense stuff. Honestly, I don't know what happened to 136 or Trespasser, but at the end of the day, what matters is the people that ends the race, and it's amazing stuff. Amazing
indeed. We have a couple more events happening later on this week as well for your information. We have the LFS Endurance Series taking place on Saturday night. And further to that as well, we also have the E-Challenge event taking place on Sunday. That is returning to your screens. That will certainly be one to keep an eye on for sure. But with that, it has been a fantastic evening here on the 376th running of Rony's Tuesday Fun Race. Again, thank you to World Class Lions for their continued support. Will anyone be able to elevate themselves ahead of Laguga and challenge the informed driver. He's 2 for 2. We'll have to wait and see. From myself and my colleague Xibin, and also from Martin for guiding us through this evening, and all of the wider Sim broadcast team, we'd like to thank you for your attendance, and we hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Have a great evening.